All right, let's talk about a classroom technique that is so simple, but wow, it has a surprisingly powerful impact. It's a way to see right past those nodding heads and find out what your students are actually thinking. Let's get into the mastery of class voting. You know the scene, right? We've all been there. You explain something really important, you look out at your class, and you just see this sea of nodding heads. But here's the question. Are they really getting it? Or are they just, nodding along? How do you crack that code and find out what they truly understand in that exact moment?
And that's the big challenge, isn't it? Understanding is invisible. Silence in a classroom could mean everyone is deep in thought, or it could mean they're completely lost. So how do we make that silent understanding, visible?
Well, there's a beautifully straightforward and really effective technique for this exact problem. It's called class voting, and honestly, it's a tool that's designed to get every single student participating and, most importantly, to make their thinking totally visible to you. So what is it at its heart? It's really simple. It's a technique where every student commits to an answer at the exact same time. The magic word here is simultaneously. There's no hiding. No waiting around to see what your friends are going to say first. Everyone's in. And one of the best things about it is how flexible it is. You can use a super strict routine with just hands, simple ABCD cards you print out, or even digital polling tools if you have them. You can even do a stand-up/sit-down thing, though you'll want to be mindful and adapt for students with special educational needs or disabilities, or SEND. The point is, it requires almost nothing to get started. So, why is this actually worth your time? I promise this isn't just another classroom activity to add to your list. Class voting is a total game changer for the dynamic of your room. Let's look at the 3 biggest reasons why. First and foremost, it gives you, the teacher, incredibly fast feedback. I'm talking like, in 3 seconds you can scan the room and get this perfect visual snapshot of where the whole class is at. You know right away if you need to go back and reteach something, or if you're good to move on. Second, it just massively boosts student commitment. Think about it. When every single student knows they have to vote, they have to engage, they have to actually think through the question and commit to an answer. It pulls everyone into the lesson and makes learning an active sport, not a passive one. And finally, it is the absolute perfect partner for hinge questions. Those critical questions in a lesson where everything that comes next hinges on them getting this one concept. Before you move on to that next, more complicated topic, a quick class vote tells you if the foundation is solid. It's a perfect tool for that moment. Okay, so the why is pretty clear. Now let's get into the how. The real power of class voting comes from having a simple, repeatable routine. Nailing this process is what makes it all click. It's a dead simple 4-step process. 1. Students choose their answer silently. This is so critical for getting independent thought. 2. On the count of 3, everybody shows their answer. This stops students from just copying their neighbor. 3. You scan the room for that instant snapshot. And 4, and this is maybe the most important step of all, you probe. You ask those follow-up questions to really dig into their thinking. The key here is to script your language so it becomes totally automatic. You develop these clear, short instructions like no shouting out, commit first, or that classic countdown. Show me in 3, 2, 1. The one on the screen? Keep it up, eyes on me so I can scan. It's perfect. This kind of precise language is what makes the whole routine so slick and efficient.
Okay, so knowing the steps is the first part, for sure. But true mastery, that comes from avoiding a couple of really common pitfalls. Let's look at what separates just doing it from doing it like a pro.
The single biggest mistake is letting students copy each other. It happens when you don't really enforce that silent thinking time, or when you let a few kids show their hands too early. The mastery move is to be a real stickler for that silent time and the synchronized reveal. That's how you ensure every answer you see is the real deal. The second major mistake is just seeing wrong answers and moving on. Nope. The real deep learning happens when you probe those misconceptions. Don't just correct the answer. Ask, hey, why did you choose B? Or what made A look like a good answer? This is how you find those little cracks in your thinking and fix them right on the spot. So when you put it all together, the lightning-fast feedback, the total commitment from everyone, and that deep probing, you get this. Class voting is a tool that truly transforms your classroom from a place where kids passively get information into an arena where they are actively thinking, committing, and learning out loud, together. So as we wrap this up, here's a thought to take with you. Don't just think about using the technique. I want you to think about that powerful fourth step, the probing. What's one crucial question you can ask in your class tomorrow, and how are you going to follow up on the answers you get?